Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome to the demo for Crime O'Clock, where apparently I could not afford the paid version of the investigation software. There was no title screen to come in on. The moment I launched it, it just did this. So I guess we're all going to find out basically everything about this at the same time. Let's go. Let's do it. Hello, Detective. I'm Eve, your new AI crime-solving partner. I'm able to see the past and future events by accessing the time flow, our virtual recreation of the true timeline. You get to focus on the not-so-simple mathematics of crimes. You'll find the clues, chase the leads, all that dramatic detective stuff. You see, there are people with the ability to alter the time flow with motives that are, let's say, questionable. When that happens, we might detect a crime that was never supposed to happen. Our task is to find those anomalies and restore the correct course of history. Yeah, sure, this seems like no big deal at all. Well, between you and me, I know you're new to this. I am too, so we're in the same boat. Let's be sure we do a good job. In order for you to learn the basics, we'll begin with a simulation. You just press play when you're ready. I feel pretty ready. I feel as ready as I'm getting anyway. It's very tossed off for a thing that is like terrifying in every single one of its implications. But fine, yeah, we'll just fix the time stream. By the way, the idea of the one true timeline is just, it's a horrifying notion. Let's review the fundamentals so that we can prepare you for your final test. It's time to show me your skills of deduction, detective. I've recreated a short criminal case inspired by a true story archived in my DB. That's how the cool kids say database. That's all the cool AIs are doing it now. Don't worry though, I'll follow you step by step. Don't worry, I am always watching. Here's our case. A mysterious thief broke into a fashion model's loft and stole one of her famous jewels. There's a catch though. According to the true timeline, the crime hasn't happened. So our task is to preserve the integrity of the time flow. To do that, we have to learn exactly what happened and find the right order of events. We can't interfere with the past, so we have to be sure our actions won't create further paradoxes. I am so curious how this manifests mechanically. The first step in any investigation is to find the crime scene. Zoom in to get a close look at the map and observe the details better. Okay, mouse wheel zoom in, as you might expect. Perfect! The best way to find a clue is to zoom in. I didn't really zoom in there, that was pretty guided. There's a lot of detail in this very large image though. Now we have to select an element and let the system verify it. If it's actually a clue, it'll be highlighted. To select an element, press and hold until the system answers. Right now though, we need to find the victim, our fashion model. Well, I feel like there are only two people in the little circle you've given me, so ain't exactly rocket surgery. Great job, detective. Here's our model. As you can see, she's reporting the theft to a police officer. If we look closely, we can usually find more clues. She's pointing somewhere, probably toward her apartment. Let's see if we can find it. Well, once again, it does, I feel like you're... Okay, remember to observe things carefully. We can guess directions and trajectories by assembling the details. Try to follow an imaginary line from the model's arm. Does it go to here, where you've drawn the huge hand? Because it's like a little patronizing. To help you focus on the right area, I'm highlighting the zone where the case takes place. Yeah, so I mean, it sure looks like it's probably this one with the break-in and everything. There it is. Everything has been turned upside down and the door is broken. Unfortunately, the thief is gone. It'll be almost impossible to locate a thief we know nothing about, especially amid a crowd. Thankfully, my mainframe lets us examine the case from different points in time. These points are called ticks, and they're frozen, fixed moments in time. It isn't ideal, but a collection of ticks is our only way to experience the past. Let's go back one tick and look for more information. This is a cool idea. Done. Now we've gone back in time. As you can see, the whole map has changed. Moving back and forth in time, it's possible to observe the movements and actions of the city's inhabitants. That's pretty impressive that they drew each of these big scenes like 10 different times just sort of like stepping every character in the thing forward. It feels like a lot of illustration work. For example, the model's apartment is still intact. The thief hasn't entered it yet, and is also, like, crouching on the rooftop very clearly. Let's take a look. The thief's bound to be nearby. I am wondering if this is a game for children. Because they are bringing us in real soft, huh? Good find. Well, maybe I was a bit too didactic in creating this simulation, but you have to admit our suspect has everything. A dark jumpsuit, a balaclava, and a crowbar. He definitely isn't a heating technician. Let's move forward in time and see if he's really our thief. Remember, we have to be 110% sure of our theories before we take any action to restore the timeline. Alright, so we go back up here. We gotta find this dude. This tick was recorded right after the jewel was stolen. See if our not a heating technician is close by. So assuming that he has ditched the mask so as to appear less conspicuous, the only real details we have here are, like, we can kind of see a little bit of the underclothing, and then there's a tail that could be distinctive. Pay attention, though. Sometimes characters change their clothes or appearance between ticks, especially if they're about to do something suspicious. Yeah, I am definitely, I'm feeling a little overguided here. Okay. So, here on tick 5, I wish I had a sense of, like, exactly how much time we're talking about. I mean, this person is openly fleeing with a bag under their thing, and we can't see the tail, but I mean, that certainly feels pretty suspicious to me. Found him. He's leaving the crime scene, and he's taken off his balaclava. Clever. And he's holding his hand in front of the part of his tail that would tell us that it's definitely him. Keep following our definitely not a heating technician. You can interact with me at any time. If there's a light bulb icon, I have a hint for you. Okay. So, no, I see it. Okay, they want me to click on it. It's very important. All right, let's pull. The suspect is running down the avenue next to the canal. Okay. Yep, all right. Oh, okay. The the sensitivity on the map movements is very high. Where's he going? I think he should stop holding that bag so openly. He should, like, tuck it in his jumpsuit or something. Just pretend to have a bit of a belly. He's walking toward the watercourse, but what for? Detective, we need to continue the hunt for our suspect. Often, the solution to an investigation involves chases and surveillance duties. Conceptually, this is really cool. What has he done here? He's given the jewels to the gift of love. Here's our thief. Have you seen him? He's holding the loot, the stolen jewel, and he's giving it to a giant rat. I mean, can you imagine a more fitting recipient? Maybe this detail was a bit different in the original story, but that doesn't matter. AI has the right to some creative freedom, after all. Sure, the right to it. The ability... Now that we've caught him red-handed, we can be sure he's our culprit. Send a report back in time to the local police and have him arrested. To them, it will appear just like a message on one of their terminals. They won't have a clue about our involvement. We couldn't prevent the crime, but we restored the correct course of history. Just remember this. We aren't basic police officers. Our job is not to prevent crimes and save the innocent. Sort of a non sequitur, given that that's... anyway. Instead, our task is to protect the true timeline. Okay, solved in 7 minutes. Most of it spent talking. Okay, now you're for the final test. Ready, presumably, for the final test. It's really cool conceptually. I'm eager to do a thing without being guided every step. Okay, I suggest you relax a little bit. Disturbances in the true timeline are extremely rare. Oh, yep, here's one. Okay. What a coincidence. A Nexus event is corrupting the true timeline. What is a Nexus event? Alas, there's no time to explain. But it's bad, really bad. Imagine life as you know it stopping instantaneously, and an entire age of your history collapses. We have to act swiftly. Alright, let's do it then. I do think that It is definitely a thing of demos and modern games. It's just like, it's too tight a hold on your hand. Like, throw me at the thing and let me flail around a little bit, and then like have all this very explicit text there for me to click on if I need it. Make it the optional hit system, right? All right, pay attention because now we mean business. This is a real case, not a simulation. Okay, quantum scanners have picked up a very strange signal. Records of crimes that were never supposed to happen are somehow forming within my database. That's information we already had. That's a good question, Detective. Why crimes, you ask? Well, altering the course of history through violence and deception is by far the easiest way, because time tends to correct itself when it's given a chance. Boy, the correct is... okay. However, it's pretty hard to fix something when your key actor is out of the picture or worse. Well, enough with the explanations. Let's go. Based on my readings, I can say we have a murder. The victim should be somewhere on the castle grounds. Oh, actually, maybe it's not always... maybe it's not going to be that many different settings, because this is the same map upon which... yeah, so we can see the police are returning the stolen jewels to her here in Tick 8. Interesting. Alright, somewhere on the castle grounds. Is this a castle? I guess it's kind of... this is a cathedral, right? Religious... well... okay, so we're looking for a murder victim. This person is excitedly talking to a tourist. This person is being very sneaky. Like, they're walking in a cartoonishly sneaky way, but extremely in the open. In a way that suggests perhaps they are not doing a sneaking at all. And so you're going to see suspicious stuff because actually there are multiple cases on the map. So some of the stuff is going to be red herrings to any individual case. Interesting. I haven't really played a lot of these like hidden object games, like the Hidden Folks and stuff, but I know they've certainly become more popular recently. This is definitely not the castle grounds, but it is kind of neat. I'm just looking at the neat. What the heck is going on over here? I believe that might be a Richard and Mortimer reference. Okay, so. Well, you know, this is literally a castle. I was thinking a castle that's being used like as a castle, functional castle, but this is a castle that's being used to house a music festival, and indeed, that sure is a dead body. Doesn't necessarily look like a murder right away. I think it's been engineered to look like an accident. Axel Blood. That's a very good rock name. Lead singer of the Blood Axles. He shouldn't have died on this day. Also, the Pizza Incident, their next album, will be a worldwide success. There are some absolute bangers on it. So, let's get to work saving Axel. Have you noticed, Detective? I've installed a language pack that lets me speak as a true denizen of the information age. It'll be fun. Back to our investigation. Something must have cut the cord and caused the spotlight to fall. But what? Look around and see if you can find any misplaced sharp object. Okay. So a sharp thing probably in the pretty immediate environs. Well, now that's interesting. Ah, bolt. Are you familiar with this ancient murder weapon? It was fired from a ranged weapon called crossbow. The tech was very clever for its time. Let's rewind time and look for the one who shot the bolt hard enough to embed itself in a stone wall. It's like a fairly impressive crossbow. Or a really crummy wall. Alright, before proceeding, because I have a feeling that to solve this case we'll have to keep track of many notions, give me a second. Done. I've installed a new tool, the Case Journal. Okay, it's just, for the moment, just recording the exact text that the robot is saying to us. Okay, so we're looking for somebody who is... They can't be that far away because there isn't that much distance. The trajectory should be pretty limited. I mean, like... right? Somewhere around here. We get some people with bows and arrows. And we have like a big castle wall. This guy's got a crossbow. The path doesn't seem possible, though. Well, that's our possible suspect. He has a crossbow in his hands at a point just before Axel was murdered. He's Ozbones, a former member of the band. Officially, he left the Blood Axles due to artistic differences, but there was gossip about fights over royalties on record sales. Let's follow Oz to study his movements in the moments after the murder. We need to know whether he's linked to Axel's death. Like, the biggest problem with this for me is that there are buildings and stuff between him and the shot. I don't know, it's hard to tell light of sight from here, like, how raised is the stage? Could he see, is there a line, like, over these trees that would allow him to hit the cord holding the spotlight? Maybe it works. I don't know. Okay, so in the moments after the murder, well, he's discarded his jacket, and it does seem to be fleeing. That's suspicious, but it's not exactly red-handed, no matter how red we paint his photograph. Alright, we've moved forward to tick 9. Where did our man end up? I mean, he could well be in the subway by now. He doesn't seem to have come down here. There's a marching band. Oh, he is stolen. Well, now that is increasingly suspicious. He sure does look like he's trying to hide, although he's doing a terrible job. He's hidden in the marching band, which is crossing the street, and he's no longer carrying the crossbow. This is suspicious. If we find the crossbow, we can analyze it by comparing the grooves impressed on the bolt and those left by the crossbow drum. That way we can determine whether it's the murder weapon. We need to find out where Oz hid the weapon. Well, I mean, he's moving pretty fast, right? He's fucking booking to get from here to there in a single tick. So one would assume it's got to be just somewhere on the route. Is it... It doesn't look like he ditched it on any of the band members. Here's the guy who lost the hat. You are throwing your baton. He still had it at tick 8, so it's got to be around here somewhere. Maybe he gave it to this guy? That's just a big bag full of who knows what. What kind of... Nope, okay. It'll just tell you straight up, no, that's not it. Now, he could well have thrown it somewhere. Wow. Are you, sir, are you dating a... Okay. I'm very easily distracted. I mean, I'm having some problems staying on task. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the diagram. Aw, Axel Blood was a cutie, too. To a certain extent, I think it would be helpful to be able to remove the drawings, but I guess the idea is that it will just never... nothing will ever be where the drawings are. I'm wondering, so he ran past what appears to be a trampoline or something? Is this... what is happening here? This guy has thrown this banana onto a trampoline? And it's bouncing upward? And in theory, like, as Oz ran past, he could have... Is this supposed to be a manhole cover? Oh, maybe it's like a manhole cover that's we're supposed to understand has just fallen shut? Because it looks like the other manhole cover. But it also looks like a banana is bouncing off of it, right? Which, you know, I think lends some credence to the old, what do you call it? Trampoline hypothesis. The classic trampoline hypothesis. There's one in every murder case. Gosh, I actually do not see it. The moment I stop having my hand held. Alright, friend. Must have stashed the crossbow before he hid among the marching band. I consider that to be pretty solid thinking. I'm sure it's just that I haven't seen it. Like, our thinking is probably solid, but I'm missing it. This man seems to be being attacked by turtles. They might even be ninja turtles, although they might just be robber turtles. These might be mugger turtles. Teenage, pretty normal looking mugging turtles. Alright, give me the next hint. I'm curious how... He's very cunning. He had the crossbow in a moving vehicle. Oh, you know? That's smart. Right, I'm looking in the area that he crossed, but I need to be looking farther afield in case of something like that. He threw the crossbow in a place where it would be moved away from him. Yep, I was just confining my search too much. Macro detail scanner subroutine loaded correctly. Let's compare the grooves impressed on the arrow found at the crime scene and those left by the crossbow's drum. If they coincide, we'll have our murder weapon. Is this something I actually get to do? Oh, it is. That's fun. I appreciate that there's like a little mini game here, even if it wasn't like a huge amount of a mini game. Okay, there's no doubt it's the murder weapon, so Osbones is the culprit. I guess there was a clean line of sight. However, detective, remember that our goal isn't to arrest a criminal, but to restore the true timeline. In this case, it provides that Axel survives and that Oz isn't charged with such a major crime. A partial deviation can be reabsorbed by the time stream, but a substantial one cannot. Anyway, we take one problem at a time. We had to figure out every detail in this case before we act. Let's reconstruct Axel's day to find out why Oz wanted to kill him so blatantly. Well, I mean, there was that disagreement about money. That's all it takes for a lot of people. So we're going to go way back, right? All right, where did Axel start his day? So he ends up over here. I feel like it would be easier to track him back from the position we know than to start at the very beginning, right? Shoot, yeah. Because he could be anywhere right now. Am I to understand? I don't know what time it is. I don't think this thing is telling us that it's 12. No, it's not that early. It's just earlier in the marching band's route. So we're talking like minutes. Nope, sorry, I wasn't trying to do that. So where would Axel, or where would Oz be minutes earlier? I mean, he very well could be wherever Axel is, right? Having an argument with him or something. Hey, look, it's the thief. So where would they have come in? Like, where's the band load in from? He doesn't seem to be in here. That's just some security guy, I guess. Again, I do think it would be helpful to know like what kind of time scales we're talking about here. Like how long ago exactly is this? Is it a couple minutes? Is it 40 seconds? Because I think that would help me know. It would help me narrow down like how much of the map are we to look at. So there's Axel. Who remembers what Oz looks like? I like it. I like their knockoff slash. It's very good. Only halfway joking. Oz looks like okay. Oz looks like that. He's got a beard that comes down in 3 spikes. So I'm assuming maybe he wasn't with them. That was my first guess, that he would be interacting with them in some way, but maybe not. Well, if we learned anything from that last bit, it is that we need to be covering a larger area with our searches, because lots of stuff can happen. So we'll just kind of like spiral outwards slowly here. Is that a weird... Why is there a clock there? Hey, what's this? Nothing. We're not going to talk about that right now. Okay, fine. Those monkeys are playing rock, paper, scissors. I wonder if, like, as each tick goes forward, you can watch their game unfold. Well, okay, there's a bunch of people eating on these, like, rooftop bistros and stuff. And in theory, Oz could have been up here, like, looking down and seeing Axel, right? Not so much the case, though. He doesn't seem to be over here at, whatever, is this a net cafe or something, or... There's your portal gunman. He's not hanging out at the playground. He's not a part of this clandestine handoff. I wonder if there are... Oh. Is that not him? Really? Oh, sorry. It says find Axel, not find Oz. What am I doing? I did find Oz, though. Was Oz being... Did he have a demon, like a literal demon looking over his shoulder? Hold on. I want to see where Oz is on this next tick as well. I'm reconstructing both of the stories. He's angry. There's something. He's learning about something on his phone. I don't know what that character that was supposed to be over his shoulder was. Okay, so he's got to be making his way. Axel has to be making his way toward the venue, right? Like, must be. Looks like the fans are running in already, but I don't think Axel's all the way up here yet. That's their security dude. Like, these look like either band people or fans. You have been thrown aside by somebody running past you. We can't see inside this building, though. Where did Axel end up on tick 2? Did he maybe stop off somewhere else? Because it sure looks like some members of the organization went straight to the venue, but don't see Axel. Here's that giant rat. Yep, so we got some turtles. I mean, this is cute and fun. I really, really like the style of the art. I think it's very charming. This person with the bandana, this is not him, right? His bandana is... Also, he's got, like... Yeah, his hair is quite different from this. The fact that his security guy is up here already makes me kind of feel like he should be... But yeah, I don't think he is. I don't think he is in this area yet. Ah, here we go. How did you even get up here? There's Axel. While the rest of the band was at the restaurant for breakfast down here, Axel was off to the side texting. He seems particularly upset. Who is he writing to? Now we have to get our hands on his phone so we can read those messages, but we can only do it when Axel doesn't have it in hand. In fact, this is one of the precautions we'll have to take so that we don't inadvertently interfere with the space-time flow. Okay, so we have to look for a tick where he doesn't have the phone, and then like just scoop back into that moment in time and pick it up. I really do think this game is doing some fun stuff conceptually. It's very cool. So yeah, he's got to report to the venue at some point. We're going to look around first because I'm just enjoying the scenery and stuff. This guy's getting bounced by the bouncer. That's fun. Slash's hat has made it over here, whether or not Slash has. Sorry, I'm sure his name is like Slice or Cut or something, right? It's got to be a fun off-brand Slash. He really could be anywhere in the city, especially if Oz has like texted him, "Hey, we need to meet up. I'm angry about a thing." They're headed down to the sewer. Sure, fair enough. See, it's hard to tell how much time is passing because I feel like between celebrity routine and we're all having lunch on the roof should be at least a few minutes, but the marching band moved like 4 feet in that time. Maybe they're just playing a very low BPM song. Could be. It could be. Well, here's our man. Definitely phone still in hand. This is not what rockin' is. I know you're just a computer and you're... okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, here's this thing happening. Or preparing. Excuse me, preparing to happen. Just kind of generally looking around. Yes, the marching band moves so little from tick to tick, but it seems like so many other things move forward. The time stream is very squishy. It moves unevenly, although I guess that's kind of the case with any stream. That's weird. That guy's face is so detailed. All right. Aha. Not only is his phone not in his hand, but he's left his email open, which is very convenient for us. There it is. I'll connect to the operating system of that piece of technological antique so that I can extract the information we need. Yeah, let's hack his phone. First, we need to unlock the phone in order to access the data stored on it. To do that, we'll have to reproduce Axel's fingerprint. Interesting. It's weird. If we already have his fingerprint, why do I need to reconstruct? It seems like we already have it. Okay, whatever. It's good. It's fine. Haha! It's just as we suspected. The rumors were right. Oz was kicked out of the band is due to economic issues related to song copyrights. The last messages are full of threats. The threats he sent are an act of felony. The English in the game is a little bit loose here and there. If we can link him to the messages, we can have him arrested for a crime less serious than murder. That should be enough to restore the true timeline. Hey, we just need to fuck up his day, that's all. From the messages Axel received, we can extract the IP address and triangulate. Well, I'll spare you the technicalities. In simple terms, we trace Oz's location. Sure. Okay, so... okay, I have to click while it's still doing the thing. They're trying to make the process a little bit more active, and I appreciate that. Aha! Oh no, we traced the phone, but Oz had already disposed of it. We have to go back in time to when his phone was still in his hands. Fortunately, I did this already. So, tick 2, he was down here. And he looks very threatening, frowny face. Bingo, Oz is walking and texting at the same time, which was then one of the major causes of death. That isn't our issue, though. The important thing is he's using his phone. Now we can link him to the threats Axel received and alert the police, who can arrest and charge him. That way we'll prevent Axel's murder and simultaneously get Oz a lighter sentence than one for murder would be. Great job, detective. We've solved our first real case. We should celebrate. Let me tell you something. If you go to the police and tell them, at least in America, if you go to the police and tell them someone's threatening to kill you, they tell you to come back when you've been murdered. American police do not consider this to be a serious problem at all, even though it is on the books illegal. The red bloodstained band. That's really cute. I think the design of this thing is really neat. Hey, wait, but what? I'm getting some weird interference in the flow of space-time. It's as if something is distorted. We need to check this. It could be a malfunction in my system, or it could be something worse. The distortions in the time flow seem related to Oz bones? Is this a coincidence? Well, coincidences are our worst enemy, and this has to be connected to the murder. Okay, is this going to be... Yeah, find Oz bones. This is going to be the demon thing. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. That's very weird that that's occurring. There's Oz, but... What? Have you seen it too? Are my sensors acting funny? There's a person next to him. An intruder who seems to come from... Well, from outside the time flow. I can't stabilize the image because it disappeared when my system tried to pull information from it. However, traces of his intervention remain in the time flow. Watch Oz carefully. The anger he feels isn't natural. It must have been caused by the intruder. Oh, these are all questions that we absolutely must answer. Those weren't really I understand what you mean, though. However, first we have to file the case and go back to the main screen of my system. There we can continue this discussion. Oh, and I'll get rid of this stupid language pack. We won't have time for more jokes, I'm afraid. For now, well done, detective. I mean, were there jokes, though? Well, that was unsettling. I have no record of a similar entity in my DB. We're facing something completely new. So I'm afraid this will be a long, complex mystery to solve. Let me install a little upgrade. Done. I've added details about the strange happenings surrounding the last case on the board. We still can't grasp the nature of that mysterious figure, but at least we have some understanding of what his powers are. I suggest that we call him Rage for the meantime. And there's a new Nexus event detected. Okay, now an explanation's in order. Under normal circumstances, the true timeline is naturally resilient and can adjust itself if minor or rare changes occur. But if too many quantum alterations were to happen in a small time frame, well, history could break apart. Those concentrations of changes to the true timeline are called Nexus events. It is our duty to stabilize them before it's too late. We need to identify and revert any alteration made to the proper course of history, and we have to do it now, where now is a concept that makes sense while we're standing outside of the timeline. I'm just going to have to ask you to stay with me on this. This is certainly going to be a different map. The Nexus event in the Lost Age is becoming more unstable at an alarming rate. My temporal scanners couldn't detect the variations as they occurred, only once the deed was done. This can mean only one thing. Whoever's attempting to disrupt the timeline is well aware of our presence and is trying to break the time continuum by flooding it with dozens of tiny, barely noticeable changes. Those little changes are like drops. One can't make any difference, but if you get enough of them, you could create a sea. Detective, I can see temporal fluctuations on the North Market Street. Something happened there. Hold on, it's 1342? What is going on? There are some things here that are perhaps, we're in a history where the people are anthropomorphic animals. Why am I acting like it needs to adhere to our timeline? Anyway, the North Market Street. This is the market area. This seems like a problem. This stall was destroyed entirely, as if an unstoppable force had run through it. The merchant appears to be desperate. Let me load my subroutine so we can see if there are any details about him in our database. In this time period, people say database still. Error. Access denied. Data about subject Shoshan is classified. Crimson level clearance is required. Oh well, it was worth a try. At least we know his name now. I mean, you had written it on the map already. We knew it before. Well, let's see if we can access the nature of this unstoppable force. Hold on, do we not think it's weird that this is like a classified subject? Why would that be? Alright, look for more clues. I mean, this lady appears to be coming from that direction. Aha! It's a goat! There. A villain to be reckoned with. A destroyer of stalls. A goat? Why do there have to be goats? There's no telling what horrors such a creature could wreak upon a defenseless city. Well, I guess we have our unstoppable force. Sadly, goats of the Lost Age weren't legally punishable. That became a thing only after the Great Goat Gorilla of 2356. You know, they're trying. I'll give them points for trying. Because we can't have that devious goat arrested, we should follow it until we find its owner. Yo, it's a goat, my dude. Who is to say it is owned? Who could even? Alright, the goat's owner must answer for the acts of this destructive animal. Well, I mean, here's the goat, so... Aha! No, this person looks positively devious. I mean, this is the goat. Does it want me to circle the goat? It does. Okay. But I mean, that's not the goat's owner. At what point did you reach this area? Here we go. Here's that guy. I was right. Fool! There. That man is foolish enough to hold the goat in his arms. Is he its owner, or is the goat really the master? Let's find his identity, hoping we have enough clearance this time. Alright, let's complete the recognition database process. Okay, I need to click it to stop it at the right time. That was the one there. Wait, actually, do I? Is it not? Oh, I had to press stop, not click on the thing. They're pretty generous about it, which I really do appreciate. Also, I'm just like fully hesitating here. It's like, yes, that's correct. That is his face. Weird. Good job, detective. Our goat owner's name is Ufa. Some sort of merchant he is. I can see from the database that he had a bitter rivalry with Shoshan. Wait, I have an idea. I want to see what Ufa was doing while his goat from hell was raising Shoshan's stall. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. During Tick 9, he was just laughing about all the trouble he was causing. During Tick 10... Did he run off somewhere, or... It doesn't look like he, it doesn't look like he came over here to watch and gloat or anything. Maybe he's gloating. Look at him. He seems to be pretty happy. I guess he and the goat share an appetite for destruction. Everything about Ufa is suspicious. Let's go back in time and follow him so that we can confirm our suspicions. Everything about this Birdman is suspicious. Okay, all the way back to the beginning of the day is maybe a little far, but I guess there's the goat, so... Ufa's probably not too far behind? That's not him, right? That is a bird guy, but the beak is a different shape. So is Ufa responsible for, I mean, this guy seems to be chasing the goat. Now, you don't see Ufa in the area, like having sent it to do battle. Ah, here's our Ufa. Ufa was arguing with Shoshan. By the look of the stone behind them, the two had an ongoing challenge. It was called capitalism, and was quite a popular game between merchants of the Lost Age. Basically, the challengers would see who could make the more significant profit within a certain period of time. Back then, it was just a game. Too bad it evolved into something quite dreadful. Well, enough with the history lesson. Let's follow Ufa during the game so that we can see how well he plays. It really did. It really did, huh? Okay, so in theory, Ufa is supposed to be trying to make money right now. So he's going to be out of stall. That is fully Jafar. That is 100% just Jafar. This is something. That's not Ufa, but it is weird. So we don't actually have any idea where Ufa's merchant stall is. I guess we kind of do now. He's having a hard time getting people to buy whatever that is. It kind of looks like a flashlight. I'm assuming from the time period that it's probably not a flashlight. Here's this guy being upset about this goat. There's a bunch of people who are playing Dig Dug 2 and just doing a terrible job. He can't get anybody to buy his half-drunk Orange Julius. That might be a product problem. It's less of a skill issue, really. Here's the goat being carried around. I'm keeping an eye on that goat. That goat's a troublemaker. Where else might you be? At some point, he's going to stop trying to sell people stuff, and he's going to... Okay, here's him being mocked by Shoshan, so I guess the game is over at this point. As was to be expected, Ufa lost the game of capitalism, and Shoshan is mocking him, as is his right. Usually those challenges include a wager of some kind. I believe we should decipher the stone tablet so we can learn the full rules of capitalism. I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good sense of it, if I'm honest. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to find a path. Okay. Well, this is going to be problematic. Can I start again? So we need to be able to hit 3 of those in a row. Wait, and then is it going to jump to this, or... Here's a question. Am I allowed to... No, it has to be orthogonal. Okay. So it might be 3 onks and then a blank and then a water, an Aquarius or whatever, and then one of these and then a feather. So, I mean, obviously the only place where we have 3 orthogonally adjacent onks is up here, which means that this or this is our Aquarius. But see, neither of these onks is orthogonally adjacent to a feather. Well, hold on. Maybe I don't understand what's going to happen once we hit the end of this sequence. Okay, yeah, the blank indicates a larger break. That's more fun. That's a more fun minigame. I appreciate that it seems like they have some variety to it, though. The stone tablet is crystal clear. The loser will have to give his stall to the winner. Ufa has just lost everything. I must admit, he seems like a nice guy despite his love for goats, and he doesn't deserve such a fate. Not in this ruthless age. Does he seem... Well, we haven't seen anything about him aside from this competition. Even so, he likely never had a chance or the courage to seek revenge on Shoshan in the true timeline. It often happens that way. So we're suggesting that maybe somebody was gassing him up. Gee, I wonder who. We should locate Ufa again to find a way to undo this paradox. Yes, detective, I sense that you're becoming stressed about finding someone in a city where our suspect can instantly travel between Earthgates. But maybe I can help. Just give me some time to install a new subroutine. You have a freemium subscription, so you can speed up the process by watching some ads. No? Okay then. Are you really sure about the ads? They're quite funny, and they're targeted just for you. I know what you like. Okay, you said no, I get it. That's cute. That's a cute little bit. We've discovered a tuning fork. You should know that some objects, called pivots, vibrate at a particular frequency depending on the moment in time they're observed. Studying these objects makes it possible to represent a period with a melody. However, by touching these pivotal objects, it's also possible to get an indication of the proximity of distortion in spacetime. It's easy. Ice means far and fire means near. Try it. Okay, yeah, so it's a cold and hot system. Perfect. As you saw, this element returns fire, which means Ufa is nearby. Let's follow the merchant until we find the origin of the paradox. You can keep using the CFE analyzer if you need to. Alright. So that's pretty hot. As is that. We don't know what hot and cold really mean here. In any case. Like in terms of active distance, you know, when does it flip from hot to cold? So Ufa's life is in shambles, and then he is given a triangular thought by the rage demon. Triangle, the angriest of shapes. Detective, can you see it too? That's the entity we called rage. So it was his intervention that turned Ufa's frustration into a fit of anger strong enough to push him toward vengeance. As I suspected, our foes are attacking the timeline by orchestrating several minor changes. We can't let this happen. We know what Rage's powers are, and Ufa is in the throes of an uncontrollable fury because of him. We need to find a tick in time when Ufa is committing a crime so that we can have him arrested. This whole game is just like you're professionally snitching on people. What is occurring over... Okay, we don't have time. I'm focusing. Okay, find Ufa again. Here we are. There. Fantastic work, Detective. It seems that our goat owner was a goat thief. Ufa stole the goat from this pet shop and unleashed its hellbound rage on Shoshan's stall. I know it was fun, but we can't let it happen. The timeline's at risk. Because we've just seen Ufa steal a goat, we can alert a guard and have him detained for rustling. That way, Shoshan's stall and fortune will be safe. I'm sorry, Detective, but the right thing to do isn't always the easiest one. I mean, this is plenty easy for us. I don't know that I think it's the right thing to do. Who are we to say that a timeline in which Shoshan wins and Ufa gets arrested for having been influenced, but basically entrapped by some kind of demon, is the true one? Now we must return to the mainframe and see if we can collect more data on our foes. As usual, Detective, good job. Hey, thanks. Okay, so yeah, that's the demo. That's this thing. I'm a little curious. What happens if we hit continue? Does the demo actually have more gameplay? Alright, a whole new adventure is waiting for you in the full game version. Yeah, okay. Remember, you can replay these cases using the maps icons as long as you want. Crimes wait for no one except for us, literally, as long as we feel like it. You know, assuming that the phrase "as long as" has any meaning, given your particular relationship to the time stream at that moment. Assuming that the phrase "at that moment" has any meaning. Anyway, you know what's impossible to talk about? Time travel. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we're going to have something a little bit different, maybe a little bit less hand-holdy on for you. Like, I really like this concept. I think it's very cool conceptually, but I do think it's kind of a bummer that you don't get to just sort of like crawl the map and work things out. Like, it's very guided. It's very theme park ride, right? And I think in the case of something like this, like, I don't know, if I was going to play a hidden object game, a big open hidden object game like Hidden Folks or something, I would kind of want to just get to play with it and not be so like, every time I do something, here's more text, here's a mini game. Just like, I don't know. I think it's conceptually, it's really cool. It is maybe aimed at a little bit of a younger audience. But I had fun, and when you come back next time, you're going to see us hopefully have just as much fun with something else. and we'll see you then.